Okay, so picture this. Up high, late at night, small room, scrolling on his phone. It's kind of a familiar scene, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He's got these big dreams, hitting the gym, eating right, launching that startup he keeps thinking about. But it's always just a dream. He never starts. And he feels this massive pressure, So much to change. Where do I even begin?
Yeah, that feeling is incredibly common, that sense of just being overwhelmed.
Totally. It's that classic paralysis, isn't it? You want to change everything, but the scale just seems huge.
Exactly. And that makes taking even the first step really, really hard.
Well, that's precisely what we're diving into today. We're looking for a shortcut, maybe, to understand how really small, consistent changes can actually lead to huge results.
Right.
And our guide for this is James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, which is, frankly, pretty groundbreaking.
It really is. It shifts the focus.
So we're going to unpack the power of these tiny, almost ignorable changes and show how they offer a clearer path, hopefully, to becoming the person you want to be without that, feeling of being totally swamped.
The mission, really, is to see that true transformation isn't about these giant leaps of faith or willpower. It's more about understanding the mechanics of behavior, how it actually works, and then crucially, how to design for it in your own life.
So the story goes, Abe's friend Nickel gives him this book. And Abe's pretty skeptical at first.
As you might be.
Yeah. He's thinking, oh, here we go. Another motivational book, believe in yourself, reach for the stars, all that stuff.
Usual platitudes.
Exactly. But then he starts reading and he realizes, okay, this is different. It's talking about atomic habits. Changes so small you barely notice them. Easy to just brush off. But apparently incredibly powerful if you stick with them day after day.
It's funny how we overlook the small stuff, isn't it? We're always looking for the big fix. But the power of these atomic changes, as Clear calls them, is that success isn't really about those grand gestures. It's not about the overnight transformation.
Right.
It's the compounding effect. Small, consistent improvements building over time. He uses that great analogy, doesn't he?
Yeah. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement.
Exactly. Like money-earning interest, these tiny habits done consistently, they just multiply, they compound into these massive results.
And it works the other way too, right?
Yeah.
Bad habits compound negatively.
Oh, absolutely. Those little 1% declines, they add up just as fast. It's crucial to remember that.
That really puts it into perspective.
Yeah.
There's that amazing real-world example in the book, the British cycling team.
Oh, yeah, that's a fantastic illustration.
Before 2003, they were, well, not great. One Olympic gold in a century.
Pretty dismal track record, yeah.
Then this new coach, Dave Brailsford, comes in with his marginal gains philosophy.
And the idea wasn't some radical overhaul.
No, it was about improving everything by just 1%.
Yeah.
Tiny little tweaks.
And the level of detail is just incredible. They optimize the bike seats, the weight of the tires, the athlete's sleep patterns, their diet.
They even brought their own pillows to hotels.
Right. Things you wouldn't even think of. Seems almost trivial.
But the results, within 5 years, they're winning the Tour de France, and then they dominate the Olympics, winning something like 60% of the gold medals.
It's staggering. It just shows how those tiny 1% improvements, when you stack enough of them together, lead to absolutely extraordinary outcomes.
It really makes you think about all the little opportunities for improvement we probably miss every day, doesn't it?
Definitely.
So, okay, what does this mean for you listening right now, thinking about your own goals? Well, this deep dive, we're going to break down how this magic actually works.
Yeah, let's get into the how.
We'll focus on key ideas like identity-based habits and then those 4 laws of behavior change. And we'll keep using Abhai's journey as our kind of guiding story.
That's good.
All right, so let's get into the core of lasting change. Identity-based habits. This is a big shift in perspective.
It really is.
The idea is lasting change isn't just about setting goals based on outcomes. I want to lose 10 kilos or I want to be a successful CEO.
Those are external targets.
Right. It's about flipping it and asking, who do I want to become?
And that's powerful because our actions tend to reinforce how we see ourselves. If you only focus on the outcome, the change might not stick because it doesn't have that deep internal anchor.
It's like it's not really you yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you redefine your identity first, your actions start to naturally align with who you believe you are. It becomes much more sustainable.
Abe had this moment. He'd started his little company, right? And he got this really harsh feedback from a client.
Ouch. That's tough early on.
Yeah, they basically said his work was immature. It lacked a professional touch. The old Apai, he probably would have just crumbled, gotten demotivated, maybe quit.
Understandable reaction.
But this time, because he'd been thinking about this stuff, he paused and he asked himself, okay, if I want to be a responsible entrepreneur, how do I deal with this feedback?
See, that identity frame.
Totally changed his response.
Yeah.
He didn't get defensive. He actually engaged with the feedback.
That's a huge shift, especially under pressure like that. What do you think the biggest sort of hurdle was for him in that moment, making that switch?
Good question. I think maybe just breaking the old pattern, that initial reaction of feeling attacked.
Yeah, overcoming that defensiveness.
But once he made that mental leap, asking the identity question, his actions started to change. He started actively redefining himself.
How so? Give us an example.
Well, like reading. Instead of just deciding I should read more books, he started telling himself, I am someone who learns something new every day.
Okay, so framing it as being, not just doing.
Exactly. And that led him to actually read for 15 minutes consistently every single day. Or making his bed. He decided, I am a disciplined person.
Even something that small.
Yeah. Making his bed became this little signal to his subconscious. See, I take care of things. I'm disciplined. It's a small act, but it sends a powerful message internally.
It really demonstrates that power of consistent, small signals, doesn't it? Each time he did that, he was casting a vote, as Clear puts it, for that new identity.
Yeah, I like that casting a vote idea.
It's not about one big announcement. It's the daily proof you offer yourself. It builds up quietly.
It reminds me of that analogy Abhay used with his friend Rahul. Rahul was confused, like, how are you suddenly so consistent with everything? And Abhay explained the smoker versus non-smoker thing. Someone says, I'm a smoker trying to quit. Well, they still see themselves as a smoker.
Right. The identity is still tied to the problem.
But someone who says, I am a non-smoker, they've already adopted the new identity. Their actions just flow from that. They don't smoke because, well, non-smokers don't smoke.
It's amazing how much our language shapes our reality there. Identifying with the problem keeps you stuck. Adopting the identity of the solution, that changes the game. It's a profound psychological shift.
It really is. Subtle, but huge. And Abhay applied it to his startup too. He stopped calling it my little try or my side project.
Oh, yeah.
Started calling it my business. Even when it was tiny, that shift in language boosted his confidence, reinforced that identity. I am an entrepreneur.
Okay, so the practical challenge then is, how do we weave this into daily life? How did Abhay make it concrete?
He started this daily reflection practice. Every evening, he'd ask himself, what did I do today that brought me closer to the person I want to become?
Simple but effective.
And the answer could be anything. Listening properly to a client, doing an hour of focused work, or even just honestly admitting, you know what, I got distracted today.
That self-reflection turns every single day into a chance to reinforce the identity you're building. It's intentional.
And he had this final sort of decision filter. Before doing something, especially something tempting, he'd ask, is this what the person I want to become would do?
That's a great filter.
So like scrolling on his phone at midnight, he'd ask, would a calm, focused person do this right now? If the answer was no, he'd put the phone down.
It reframes it, doesn't it? It's not about resisting temptation through willpower alone. It's about acting in line with who you've decided to be. The action becomes almost automatic, takes the struggle out of it.
And this all built up. There was this moment for him. He got invited to speak at this pretty prestigious event as an entrepreneur. His startup was still small, relatively unknown.
Wow. Okay.
And when he got on stage, apparently his first sentence was something like, I stand here today not because of one big achievement, but because of my identity.
Powerful.
Yeah. He realized it was the identity he'd built, brick by brick, habit by habit, that got him there. Not just hitting some external goal. The audience apparently loved it.
That really captures the essence of it, I think. Identity isn't something you just achieve once. You live it every day through your actions, your habits. And when that identity is driving the habits, motivation almost becomes secondary. You just are that person. You live like them.
Okay, so that's the why, the identity.
Yeah.
But how do we actually build these habits? How do we design them?
Right, the practical application.
And that leads us straight into James Clear's 4 laws of behavior change. He's very clear, pun intended, that habit formation isn't really about willpower.
No, it's about design. Designing your environment, designing your actions.
The 4 laws are, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying.
It's a really neat framework. It treats habit change systemically. You want to make the good habits almost effortless and rewarding, and the bad habits difficult and unappealing. It's like designing the operating system for your life.
Let's start with Law 1. Make it obvious. This is all about the cue, the trigger. Apai, for example, he wanted to journal consistently, but he kept failing.
Common problem.
He realized the issue was vagueness. There was no specific time, no specific place for it, just this general idea, I should journal more.
And our brains just don't work well with vague intentions like that. We need clarity. So to fix this, Apai used what Clear calls implementation intentions.
Right. Which is basically a fancy way of saying he made a really specific plan.
Exactly. His plan became, when I finish my morning tea at 7 a.m., I will meditate for 5 minutes in my reading corner. See how specific that is?
Yeah. Time, location, action. Super clear.
That clarity removes the guesswork. It makes the habit almost automatic because the cue, finishing tea, directly triggers the action, meditating in the corner. It's incredibly effective for consistency.
It really is. And he also used habit stacking, which is another great technique from the book.
Ah, yes. Linking habits together.
The formula is simple. After I current habit, I will new habit. You attach the new habit you want to build onto something you already do automatically.
So what were some of Abhai's?
Okay, he had things like, after I put away my toothbrush, I will write one line in my gratitude journal. Simple. Or, after I close my laptop for the day, I will take a 10-minute walk. Even after I take off my shoes when I get home, I will drink a glass of water.
The genius of that is you're leveraging existing neural pathways. You're not creating a brand new trigger out of thin air.
Right.
You're just piggybacking the new habit onto an old one. It dramatically reduces the mental effort needed. Our brains are fundamentally lazy, aren't they? If it's too much work, we just opt out.
I know, I definitely do that. And he took it even further with designing his environment, making the cues obvious.
How so?
He literally put his favorite books in visible places all around the house. On the dining table, next to his bed, even apparently on a shelf in the bathroom.
Okay, that's dedication.
His mantra was basically, what you see is what you do. If the book is right there, you're more likely to pick it up. He also set up a dedicated reading corner.
Creating a specific zone for the habit.
Yeah. So when he sat there, his brain got the signal, this is reading time. And conversely, for bad habits, he made the cues invisible.
Ah, the inversion.
Moved distracting apps off his home screen into folders. Put his phone to charge in another room overnight. Out of sight, out of mind, basically.
It really makes you consider how much our environment quietly shapes our choices, doesn't it? We think we're making conscious decisions, but often we're just responding to the most obvious cues.
Absolutely. Clarity triggers action. Vagueness just leads to delay.
So true.
Okay, so that's making it obvious. Law 2 is make it attractive, tapping into the crazing.
Right, because if a habit feels like a chore, we're not going to stick with it long term.
And Abhai had this problem with exercise. Like a lot of people, he just found it boring.
And if a habit feels boring, Clara argues it's often a failure of creativity in how you've designed it, not a failure of the habit itself. You've got to find a way to make it appealing.
So Apai used temptation bundling. He linked something he had to do, exercise, with something he wanted to do.
What was the reward?
Listening to his absolute favorite Bollywood music. His rule was, I only get to listen to these specific songs when I'm working out.
Ah, clever. So exercise becomes the gateway to the thing he loves.
Exactly. He said it turned his workouts into a party. It made the whole thing way more attractive.
That's a brilliant psychological hack. You pair the effort with the pleasure. The positive feeling from the music starts to rub off on the exercise itself. You're basically tricking your brain into looking forward to it.
He also tapped into social influence. He joined a little habit circle with some friends.
Your accountability partners.
Yeah, they'd chat about their wins, their struggles, keep each other motivated. And he joined an online fitness challenge group, too. Sharing progress, getting support.
That highlights a really important point. Surrounding yourself with people who already embody the habits you want. That's incredibly powerful. Their behavior becomes the norm. Their success seems achievable. And that social proof, that sense of belonging, makes the habit itself more attractive. So a good question to ask yourself is, how can I make this habit more fun or more social?
That's a great question, because even if it's attractive, if it feels like climbing Mount Everest every time,
you're still not going to do it.
Exactly. Which brings us neatly to Law 3. Make it easy. The response.
The path of least resistance?
The principle is dead simple. The easier something is, the more likely we are to do it. reduce the friction.
So how did Abhay apply this?
With journaling, for instance. He made sure his notebook and pen were always out, always ready, no searching for them.
Removing that little barrier.
And he used a fixed format, just 3 gratitude lines, 1 lesson learned, 1 little doodle. That reduced the mental friction. He didn't have to stare at a blank page wondering what to write.
It's all about lowering the activation energy needed to start. Our brains are wired for efficiency, for conserving energy. If a task seems complex or requires too many steps, we'll naturally shy away from it. Making it easy is about systematically removing those obstacles so the desired action feels like the easiest option.
And this is where that brilliant 2-minute rule fits in.
Ah, yeah, that's a game changer for starting things.
The idea is, start any new habit with a version that takes less than 2 minutes to do.
So instead of I'm going to read for an hour every night,
It's, I will read 1 page. Instead of I'll meditate for 30 minutes, it's I'll meditate for 1 minute.
the point isn't the duration initially, it's just showing up.
Exactly. Abhay started with just 5-minute stretches, 10 minutes of reading. Tiny things. But doing them consistently built the habit muscle. And then those small starts naturally grew into longer sessions over time.
So the challenge for you listening is, are you making your desired habits too hard to start? Could you apply the 2-minute rule?
Yeah.
The goal is to make starting completely effortless, because once you've started, momentum often takes over. Think about how you can reduce friction. Laying out your running shoes the night before, prepping healthy snacks. Make it easy.
All right. Obvious, attractive, easy. What's the last piece? Law 4. Make it satisfying. The reward.
This one taps into basic human psychology. We repeat behaviors that give us immediate pleasure or satisfaction.
Right. Our brains love that instant gratification.
And that immediate feedback loop is crucial. Many good habits have delayed rewards. You don't get fit after one workout. So you need to build in some immediate satisfaction to keep yourself going. Claire's insight is simple. What is rewarded is repeated.
So how did Abhay make his habits satisfying?
He got creative with little reward systems. For journaling, he put a star sticker on a calendar for every day he did it.
Like when you were a kid.
Totally. And after 7 stars, he'd give himself a small personal reward, maybe his favorite fancy coffee or a new bookmark, something small but enjoyable.
Okay. What about exercise?
For exercise, he used a big wall calendar and put a red X through every day he worked out. He focused on not breaking the chain of exit.
Ah, the don't break the chain method. That visual progress is satisfying in itself.
Exactly. Seeing that chain grow provides an immediate sense of accomplishment, even before you see the physical results. It makes the effort feel worthwhile right away.
So these visual cues, these small rewards, they create that positive feedback loop that cements the habit.
They bridge the gap between the action and the long-term benefit. So think about
Yeah.
it. How can you build in small, immediate rewards for your own habits? Even just mentally acknowledging, good job, can help.
Okay, so that covers building good habits. But what about getting rid of the bad ones?
Well, you just flip the script. You use the inversion of the 4 laws.
So instead of make it obvious.
Make it invisible. Reduce exposure to the cues that trigger the bad habit.
Instead of make it attractive.
Make it unattractive. Focus on the negative consequences or downsides of the habit. Reframe it.
Instead of make it easy.
Make it difficult. Add friction. Increase the number of steps required to perform the bad habit.
And instead of make it satisfying.
Make it unsatisfying. Introduce some immediate cost or negative consequence if you slip up.
It's about designing your environment and routines to discourage the unwanted behavior, rather than just relying on willpower to resist it.
Exactly. Willpower is finite. System design is much more reliable.
So how did Abhay apply these inversions?
Well, to make social media less visible, like we said, he moved the apps off his home screen, maybe even deleted them temporarily.
Make it invisible. Got it.
To make it unattractive, when he felt bored and reached for his phone, he'd consciously remind himself, scrolling just makes me feel worse afterwards, and maybe redirect that boredom urge to journaling instead.
Okay. Make it difficult.
He used one of those apps that puts a short delay, like 10 seconds, before opening a distracting app like Instagram. That little bit of friction was often enough to make him reconsider.
Heading a hurdle. And unsatisfying.
He actually had a jar where he'd put 10 rupees every time he caught himself mindlessly scrolling or wasting time online. A small, immediate penalty.
A little accountability tax.
Pretty much. It makes you think, doesn't it? How could you playfully design friction or dissatisfaction into your own unwanted habits? It's about making the path of least resistance the good habit, not the bad one.
Okay, so let's just Let's recap this journey a bit.
Right.
We started with Abhay, feeling stuck, dreaming big but doing nothing.
Overwhelmed, yeah.
And through applying these principles, shifting his identity, using the 4 laws, he transformed his approach. He learned that behavior change isn't really about finding more motivation.
No, it's about better design. It's about process.
He realized that forming habits is a skill, a craft almost, that anyone can learn. It's not some magical trait only certain people have.
And that leads to, I think, the most important takeaway from the book, that core mindset shift. As Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals.
You fall to the level of your systems.
Exactly. Success isn't about heroic effort or that one breakthrough moment. It's the natural outcome of having effective daily systems in place. Small steps, consistently taken within a well-designed framework.
And Abhay's story isn't finished, right? He's not suddenly perfect,
No, nobody is.
but he's focused on that consistent 1% progress. He's actively designing his environment, checking in with his identity. His life became, as he put it, more about cue-based living, intentional, less reactive, less distracted.
Which really highlights that self-improvement is an ongoing process. It's not a destination you reach and then you're done. It's about continuously refining your systems to support the person you're becoming. It's about the journey, always. Progress over perfection.
So as we wrap up, what does this all mean for you listening right now? Here's a thought to leave you with. What if, starting today, you stop chasing those huge, overwhelming goals for a minute? And instead, you just focused on designing one small atomic habit, applying these laws we've talked about.
Just one.
Just one to start, because when your identity starts driving your habits, motivation kind of fades into the background. It becomes less relevant. You just live as the person you're becoming.
The actions flow naturally.
So the question is, what one tiny atomic change will you design and implement today to become just 1% better?